I want to talk about dominant and submissive in interpersonal relationships, especially romantic ones. You might consider it active and passive. That might be another way to put it, because not everyone's into like the really hardcore, role play of dominant and submissive. But generally, they may say that here's the person who's the leader and this person's the follower. Okay, personally, I don't like that dynamic. I think it's gross. I prefer the company of equals. Doesn't mean we fight all the time. It just means, we ideally want to find out what we're about before we get together. And then, through patience, through kindness, through long suffering, whatever, we find our way through. But usually, most relationships in my experience require someone to be the dominant and someone to be the submissive. I'll just use that term for simplicity's sake, whether it be active or passive or leader, follower, what do you want? Let's say dominant, submissive. And usually it's the female expects the male to be the dominant, in my experience. Now, I find this out in retrospect, looking back, if there's when you're going to have intercourse together, if she says you can do whatever you want to me, that's a submissive. That's a submissive saying, wanting to see what the dominant's going to do. I don't like that dynamic. The problem I have is I've been in relationships where, okay, I have to initiate the affection, whether it be non-sexual or sexual affection. I have to initiate the conversations. I have to make the plans. And the other person ends up vetoing it. Now, if you're going to be the submissive, then I can only think of 3 reasons to veto an activity, all right? Because you are sovereign over your life. Even though you are in a dominant submissive dynamic, you're not someone's slave, you're not someone's property. You have sovereignty over your life. But if you're going to have that kind of relationship, then it has to be three reasons why you can veto an activity. One is, A, it's dangerous. Okay, you don't want to risk your safety, your life. Okay, the second one, it's immoral. All right, you don't want to soil yourself, your soul, doing something wrong. And third, it's illegal. Now, I don't have much regard for the state, but I get it. If you don't want to spend time in jail for getting caught doing the thing that the leader of your relationship wants to do, then okay, those are 3 good reasons. Otherwise, the answer should be yes. It should be an enthusiastic yes, because if you're going to be passive, then allow the other person to lead. If you keep vetoing stuff, then you're not letting them lead. Now, I don't want to lead. I want to come together. And sure, I might take the lead on something, but I also want you to take the lead on something. Or when it comes to sharing a bed, okay, I can drive the encounter, but then I want you to also drive the encounter. And yeah, we could take turns. It doesn't have to be 50-50. You don't have to keep a scorecard, but it doesn't have to be perfect. 60-40, 70-30. As long as, if it's 70-30, as long as you're consistently doing your 30, cool, we're good. But straight up, if I'm expected to do everything, and then you're like, no, I don't want to do this, then you really don't want to be with me, all right? And I don't want to be the leader anyways, okay? This is dumb. I don't know why people can't self-lead, all right? And you might have situational leadership. If we're going to I recently went to kayaking with a friend last Saturday, right? And this was a pond, a lake that she was familiar with and I wasn't. So she led the way because she knew the geography and I didn't. Now, if we went to a place where I knew the geography and she didn't, then I would lead the way. I'm like, hey, I want to show you this place. I want to show you that place. I want to show you the place where all the frogs are, or whatever, right? Situational leadership. That's how ancient band societies worked. The person who had the expertise led the way in that situation, but then they relinquished control when it wasn't their turn. If someone tried to be the big man, they'd get harassed, teased, maybe even have the shit kicked out of them because you can't tolerate that shit. I wouldn't want to. That'd be, that sounds pretty healthy to me. Anyway, not that it really matters that much because I'm ugly, but if I were to get into another one, I don't want this dominant submissive shit anymore. I'm done. It's one thing to talk about role play. I like to do a role play where you're the dominant and you restrain me and these are the kind of activities that I'd like to do, and we could discuss how I can meet you halfway. I don't even like that kind of sexual play, but I could reasonably try to meet you halfway, provided that I can make a similar request and you meet me halfway. Imagine that, 2 people with mutual respect and mutual enthusiasm working together. No, that can't happen, right? Of course not. Thanks for watching.